Annual Drinking Water Quality Report for year 2021. Village of Crooksville. Consumer Confidence Report. May 2022. Introduction. The Village of Crooksville has prepared the following report to provide information to you, the consumer, on the quality of our drinking water. Included within this report is general health information, water quality test results, how to participate in decisions concerning your drinking water and water system contacts. Each year you will receive a CC Consumers Confidence Report on or before July 1st, which is the deadline set by the Ohio EPA. What is the source of your drinking water? The Village of Crooksville purchases all its water from the Burr Oak Regional Water District. The BORWD is withdrawing groundwater from five wells, capable of 4 million gallons per day from sand and gravel aquifer water-rich zone, within the Hocking River Buried Valley Aquifer located in Athens County, Dover Township. What are sources of contamination to drinking water? The sources of drinking water, both tap water and bottled water, includes rivers, lakes, streams, ponds, reservoirs, springs, and wells. As water travels over the surface of the land or through the ground, it dissolves naturally occurring minerals and, in some cases, radioactive material, and can pick up substances resulting from the presence of animals or from human activity. Contaminants that may be present in source water include microbial contaminants, such as viruses and bacteria, which may come from sewage treatment plants, septic systems, agricultural livestock operations and wildlife. Inorganic contaminants, such as salts and metals, which can be naturally occurring or result from urban storm water runoff, industrial or domestic wastewater discharges, oil and gas production, mining, or farming. See pesticides and herbicides, which may come from a variety of sources such as agriculture, urban storm water runoff, and residential uses. Organic chemical contaminants, including synthetic and volatile organic chemicals, which are byproducts of industrial processes and petroleum production, and can also come from gas stations, urban storm water runoff, and septic systems. Radioactive contaminants, which can be naturally occurring or be the result of oil and gas production and mining activities. In order to ensure that tap water is safe to drink, EPA prescribes regulations that limit the number of certain contaminants in water provided by public water systems. FDA regulations establish limits for contaminants in bottled water that must provide the same protection for public health. Drinking water, including bottled water, may reasonably be expected to contain at least small amounts of some contaminants. The presence of contaminants does not necessarily indicate that water poses a health risk. More information about contaminants and potential health effects can be obtained by calling the Environmental Protection Agency's Safe Drinking Water Hotline. 1-800-426-4791. Backflow prevention. Backflow prevention affects all water users. The Crooksville Water Department is encouraging all customers to review their home plumbing and water supply connection to identify possible cross connections to alternate water supplies, or auxiliary source, which would permit a backflow occurrence. The water user is liable for any installation on his premises that could endanger the water quality of either the public or their own distribution system. Crooksville currently has a backflow prevention program in place for commercial and industrial water users. Lead information. If present, elevated levels of lead can cause serious health problems, especially for pregnant women and young children. Lead in drinking water is primarily from materials and components associated with service lines and home plumbing. Crooksville Water Department is responsible for providing high-quality drinking water, but cannot control the variety of materials used in plumbing components. When your water has been sitting for several hours, you can minimize the potential for lead exposure by flushing your tap for 30 seconds to 2 minutes before using water for drinking and cooking. Information on lead in drinking water, testing methods and steps you can take to minimize exposure is available from the Safe Drinking Water Hotline at http://www.epa.gov Safe Water Lead. Second page. Who needs to take special precautions? Some people may be more vulnerable to contaminants in drinking water than the general population. Immunocompromised persons such as persons with cancer undergoing chemotherapy, persons who have undergone organ transplants, people with HIV/AIDS or other immune system disorders. Some elderly and infants can be particularly at risk from infection. These people should seek advice about drinking water from their health care providers. EPA CDC guidelines on appropriate means to lessen the risk of infection by Cryptosporidium and other microbial contaminants are available from the Safe Drinking Water Hotline at 1-800-426-4791. The Ohio EPA requires us to monitor for some contaminants less than once per year because the concentrations of these contaminants do not change frequently. Some of our data, though accurate, is more than 1 year old. Third page. Source water assessment. The Burr Oak Regional Water District is a community public water system serving approximately 760 people near Athens, Ohio. The system also provides water to 18 satellite systems, serving an additional 28,200 people. Burr Oak operates 5 wells that pump approximately 2 million gallons of water per day from a sand and gravel aquifer water-rich zone within the Hocking River Buried Valley Aquifer System. The aquifer is covered by less than 20 feet of low permeability material, which provides minimal protection from contamination. Depth to water in this aquifer is less than 20 feet below the ground surface. The drinking water source protection area for the district's wells is illustrated in the Drinking Water Source Assessment Report prepared by Ohio EPA in May 2012. The source water protection area includes 2 zones, one inside the other. The inner protection zone is the area that provides groundwater to the wells within 1 year of pumping. The outer protection zone is the area that contributes water when the wells are pumped for 5 years. Based on relevant databases and a field inspection of the area, several potential sources of contamination were identified within the protection area. These include a recycling center, agricultural areas, transportation routes, such as State Route 13 and 682, and a railroad, above-ground storage tanks, and an abandoned oil and gas well. This assessment indicates that the Burr Oak Regional Water District's source of drinking water has a high susceptibility to contamination because of the presence of a relatively thin protective layer of clay overlying the aquifer. The shallow depth, less than 20 feet below ground surface, of the aquifer. The presence of significant potential contaminant sources in the protection area. For additional information, please call Kent Nichols, District Manager at 740-767-2558. TTHM Health Information. Byproduct of drinking water chlorination. Some people who drink water containing trihalomethanes in excess of the mcl over many years may experience problems with their liver, kidneys, or central nervous systems, and may have an increased risk of getting cancer. Halocetic acids health information. Byproduct of drinking water chlorination. Some people who drink water containing halocetic acids in excess of the mcl over many years may have an increased risk of getting cancer. AIDS monitoring. Under the Stage 2 Disinfectants Disinfection Byproducts Rule, DDBPR, our public water system was required by USEPA to conduct an evaluation of our distribution system. This is known as an Initial Distribution System Evaluation, IDS, and is intended to identify locations in our distribution system with elevated disinfection byproduct concentrations. The locations selected for the IDS may be used for compliance monitoring under Stage 2 DBPR, beginning in 2012. Disinfection byproducts are the result of providing continuous disinfection of your drinking water and form when disinfectants combine with organic matter naturally occurring in the source water. Disinfection byproducts are grouped into 2 categories: total trihalomethanes, TTHM, and haloetic acids HAS. USEPA sets standards for controlling the levels of disinfectants and disinfectant byproducts in drinking water, including both TTHMs and HASs. License to operate. The Village of Crooksville has an unconditioned license to operate the water system. How do I participate in decisions concerning my drinking water? Public participation and comments are encouraged at regular council meetings held each Monday evening at 7 p.m. at the Administration Building at 98S Buckeye Street in Crooksville. Protecting our drinking water source from contamination is the responsibility of all area residents. Please dispose of hazardous chemicals in the proper manner and report polluters to the appropriate authorities. Only by working together can we ensure an adequate safe supply of water for future generations. If you have questions about this report or concerning your water utility, please contact Levi Dickerson at 740-982-2712, or the billing office at 982-2712, for direction. We want our valued customers to be informed about their water utility. If you want to learn more, please attend any of our regularly scheduled meetings. The Village Council meets on the first and third Mondays monthly at 7 o'clock. Fourth page. For more information regarding the BORWD, you may contact Kent Nichols at 740-767-2558. Maximum Contaminant Level Goal MCG, the level of a contaminant in drinking water below which there is no known or expected risk to health. MCLGs allow for a margin of safety. Maximum Contaminant Level MCL, the highest level of contaminant that is allowed in. Feasible using the best available treatment technology. Drinking water. MCLs are set as close to the MCIGs as. Action Level AL, the concentration of a contaminant that if exceeded, triggers treatment or other requirements that a water system must follow. Treatment Technique TT, a required process intended to reduce the level of a contaminant in drinking water. Parts per million ppm are units of measure for concentration of a contaminant. A part per million corresponds to 1 second in approximately I1.5 days. Parts per billion, ppb, are units of measure for concentration of a contaminant. A part per billion corresponds to 1 second in 31.7 years. The symbol, a symbol that means less than. A result of 5 means that the lowest level that could be detected was 5 and the contaminant in that sample was not detected.